Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 8 of What If Naruto Unlock a Strange Power. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends and social media platform, and also stay tuned because I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto's a Godly Mage next over on Anime King for you guys to enjoy. So stay tuned for that and I hope you guys enjoy. And I'm gonna be posting a new episode of What If Naruto was neglected and had the red Rinnegan. So stay tuned for that as well. And I'm gonna be posting a new episode on this channel of What If Naruto learned the clone secret in the beginning. So stay tuned for that as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you're hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last part we left off. Naruto could not sign the Toad summoning contract because he already had the Fox contract and the Dragon contract and they didn't really like Toads. But Gamabunta told him to hold on to it, so if anything might happen to Jiraiya, he can pass it on to a new summoner for them, as Naruto accepted that. Jiraiya then taught Naruto the Rasengan, and he sparred with him for the remaining time, until it was finally time for the exam. Everyone made their way there, as Dosu was not there. The third already knew that Orochimaru was under his disguise, but he played like he didn't know, as Naruto was the first one to face off against Neji. Neji started to spoke and tell Naruto everything, but Naruto didn't really care one bit. He hurt Minato and he's going to make him pay, as everyone watched a gruesome scene of Naruto beating the crap out of Neji. Neji stood no chance against him, as Naruto seemed to just be toying with him, before knocking him down, as Hayashi told Naruto to go ahead, as Naruto removed the birdcage seal and placed another seal on Neji. The elders were shocked, as they started to spoke. They were collaborating with the inner cloud to take away Hinata because they didn't like how weak she was. They knew that she would grow to be a disappointment. The elders were shocked that they say that. Naruto was the one that gave Hayashi the seal that could make them speak their darkest desires, as Hayashi called for them to be captured for their execution. Orochimaru decided to start the invasion early, as ninjas went after Naruto tried to capture him. Gaara and the others, no, on Konoha's side, started to crush the ninjas. They stood no chance. As Orochimaru realized his plan is quickly failing, so he decided to pull out the big guns rather quickly as he summoned the first and the second. The fourth just wouldn't come out, as the battle began in the dome. Meanwhile, Naruto faced off against a bunch of sound ninjas that tried to take him, as they were trying to kidnap him to bring to Orochimaru, but none of them stood a chance. As Naruto then felt it, as he quickly made his way towards the Hokage's tower to see the old man dying, as Sarutobi had pulled out Orochimaru's arms and sealed them away. Orochimaru used the distraction as he dropped the barrier and started to run. Naruto made eye contact with the redhead, as she seemed uncertain, but they all fled with Orochimaru the same way. As Sarutobi died, some time passed after that as Naruto was hanging out with Ayam, as her boyfriend was a rude operative. Danzo must be behind this to keep an eye on Naruto, as Naruto ended up killing the man, as Naruto placed a seal on Ayam, just to make sure that she was okay, a seal that would protect her against people she didn't want to touch her. As Jiraiya told Naruto that they have a mission to go out and find his last teammate, as they made their way, he said goodbye to his friends because they were worried about him because they haven't seen him since the old man's death. But Naruto told them that he was fine. As Jiraiya and Naruto made their way, they got interrupted by Itachi and Kisame, who came there to fight. Itachi tried to place Naruto under his Tsukuyomi, but Naruto told him to release him or he would break it and cause him more eye damage. Itachi had to release Tsukuyomi, shocked that he saw Naruto had the Mangekyo sharingan. As Sasuke then came and went on a rampage trying to attack Itachi. Jiraiya came there and stopped that though, as Guy came to bring Sasuke back to Konoha. saying that Itachi and Kisame went Konoha first to face off against Kakashi and the others. And with that, Naruto and Jiraiya made their way. So yeah guys, those basically that's what left off. You guys can switch across the place and check out for yourself. So this will begin this new episode. Naruto and Jiraiya, both of them are hungry right now. As they made their way to our establishment, they have been searching for Tsunade for 3 days, but they had no luck. Let's go in here and grab something to eat, said Jiraiya, as Naruto followed him inside. As Naruto was looking around until he bumped right into Jiraiya. Hey, what's the problem, Naruto said, as he saw Jiraiya looking over. Tsunade, Jiraiya yelled out. Tsunade so lifted up her head. Jiraiya? What are you doing here? Actually, I'm looking for you. It seems like you haven't changed a bit since the last time I saw you. When was it exactly when you rejected my love and left? He said, but tried to shrug it off like it was nothing, but Naruto could sense a bit of sadness from him. As Naruto looked at Tsunade and then looked back at Jiraiya, something was definitely wrong here. How could Jiraiya be... Wait. As Naruto focused and realized she was using some kind of a hench to hide her true appearance, so he decided to ask, Hey, Granny Tsunade, why do you wear a hench to hide the way you look? A tape mark appearance on his head. What the hell did you just call me? Jiraiya, why don't you teach this kid some manners before I beat some into him? Oh please, Pervy Sage has worse manners than I do. Stop calling me that, said Jiraiya, a bit loudly, making everyone in the bar look at them. See, he even yelled in a public place. I mean, who does something like that, said Naruto. Now, can you answer my question? No, she said. Now Jiraiya, who is he and why are you here? As Naruto pouted, not getting his question answered, as the woman beside Tsunade chuckled a bit as he looked over at her. A black-haired girl, who was holding on to a little pig. I'm sorry, I didn't notice you there. Who are you, said Naruto. I am Shizune, Lady Tsunade's apprentice. Who are you, she said. My name is Naruto Uchiha. It's nice to meet you, said Naruto. You're a little different from the Uchihas than I remember. -1, said Tsunade. I was never raised by them. I may have the same bloodline as them, but I never consider myself as a Uchiha. I don't even wear the Uchiha crest. Okay, anyway, Tsunade, you are selected to be the next Hokage, and we also need your medical expertise to heal some ninjas. Yeah, I heard that the hidden sound invaded Konoha in the Chunin exams, and Sensei sacrificed himself. Orochimaru told me himself. What? What did you want to do, Jiraiya asked, rather seriously. Nothing much, just stopping by to say hello. You're lying, said Naruto. And I can tell, I have the same sensory ability as Mito Uzumaki, who, if I remember correctly, is your grandmother. Tsunade, what does Orochimaru want you for? Asked Jiraiya. I can't tell you, she said. But as for becoming Hokage, I'll pass. That's a fool's job and only guaranteed death in the end. I don't want it, so you can take your offer and leave. I'm sorry, Granny Tsunade, but I can't agree with you on Hokage things, said Naruto. You see, being Hokage is my dream and I would want my name up there with the greats of the village. Granted, I openly dislike the first Hokage for being so naive. But everyone else after him I respect a great deal. I get it, you're one of the legendary stallions and the world's greatest medic. But wouldn't it be better if you became the first female Hokage? Think of all the little girls that you would inspire. Even more than them just want to become a medic of your caliber. Think about it, you can be known as a person that led Konoha out of the darkness that is about to dive into. Besides, I highly doubt that you want Danzo running your grandfather's village. He finished, she gave a response. He could tell that she was in deep thought. Jiraiya, is he your new apprentice, she asked. Yeah, but I can't give him the Toad summoning contract. He already has a Fox contract. Tsunade looked at Naruto, she didn't know what was it about this boy. You made a good choice after Minato. You knew my dad, said Naruto. Your dad? Tsunade froze. Yeah, Minato and Kiyomi were his parents, said Jiraiya. Tsunade was shocked, as Naruto noticed tears start to form in the corner of her eyes. Yep, those were my parents, said Naruto. You know, the more I look at you, you kind of share some similarity to my father. As Jiraiya noticed the tears at Tsunade's eyes as well, but she kept them at bay. Oh yeah? And what are those, she asked. Well, for one, it's a blonde hair. Plus, both of your facial structures are kind of similar in eye shape, but he doesn't have the hazel eyes like you do. The tears break away from Tsunade's eyes as she literally started to cry. Hey, what's wrong, said Naruto. She then got up. To Naruto's surprise and confusion, she pulled him into a tight hug. As she then breathed the hug and looked at Naruto with a smile, confusing him before wiping away the tears. She then pulled out some money as she placed on the table. All of you, come back to my hotel room. There's something I need to tell you, she said. They all nodded. It was a connecting room, so there was enough room for all of them. Okay, I need you to put up a privacy barrier, said Tsunade. Jiraiya did as he was told. Alright, Jiraiya. You remember when the second Shinobi War was over, and I was heartbroken after losing Dan and Nawaki? Jiraiya nodded. Do you remember what we did that night? Yeah, I remember. I also remember you being gone the morning after. Okay, I'm sorry about leaving. It's just when I woke up I didn't know how to react. So I left as fast as I could. You could have waited for me to wake up so we could talk. I was head over heels for you after all. And when you just leave me back there, it sapped all that happiness from me away. And lately, as Jiraiya shook his head, I guess I'm getting off topic, he said. Okay, I guessed it. By leaving I messed up your life, but just listen. After that night, I felt sick. And I checked myself. It turned out I was pregnant. The group was shocked to hear that, as Jiraiya looked at her. And yes, you were the father. I tried looking for you, but Sensei told me that you left to travel the world. 9 months later, Minato was gone and I couldn't take care of him, she said. I left him in the orphanage with Sensei, occasionally, giving me letters from him. He knew who I was, but I don't know if he figured out that you were his father. He tried to get me to come back to leave, but I just couldn't. I didn't know if you were there as well, and I just couldn't face you. So I would make up some random C rank, requesting Minato, saying that I heard about his skills, and saying that he was the only one I can trust on the mission. It was always a 3-week-long mission. We spent 3 weeks together. He always stayed here with me and Shizune, and the both of them were like family. He was like an older brother to her. I knew that he was dating, but I never knew that he had a kid. But when I found out that he died, I just couldn't anymore. So that is why I decided to just stay gone. Tears are leaking from her eyes at this point. She looked at Naruto. You look just like him, except with black hair. And you have your mother's face. But late Tsunade, you have hazel eyes and Jiraiya has black eyes. Naruto and Minato has blue eyes. Where did they come from? Asked Shizune. My grandmother, Mito Uzumaki, has blue eyes. I guess a gene skipped me and went to Minato, who passed them on to Naruto. Jiraiya, I'm sorry for not telling you. I just couldn't find you and I didn't know what I could say if I did. Jiraiya said nothing for a long minute, as all of them just looked at him. He then sighed. I guess it's alright, Tsunade, he said. I did get to spend 12 years of my life with my son, I guess. Although, I wish we could have raised him together as a family. Wait, so you aren't my godfather instead? You're my grandfather, said Naruto. Well, it seems that way, said Jiraiya. So, Perfect Sage, I have a question. You're never going to stop calling me that, are you? Naruto shook his head. Okay, what's your question? Was your book, Ichi Ichi One Night Stand, about you and Granny Tsunade? Because if it is, that's really disgusting. I don't want to hear how flexible my grandmother was. Tsunade eyebrow twitched. Jiraiya, did you write a book about when we did it? Jiraiya started to back away from her, but the barrier was still up, as she beat the crap out of him. How do you know about that book, Naruto? She said after finishing with Jiraiya. Well, I guess you should know about my life, said Naruto, as he told Tsunade everything, while telling her his story. Jiraiya magically recuperated. Okay, so you taught yourself how to read from Jiraiya's book, make Shisui and Samui after a mob beating, met the clan heirs, meet Uncle, and remove 2 of the hardest seals ever. Tsunade asked as Naruto nodded. Okay, anything else? Well, you see, said Naruto as he scratched the back of his head, as he told them about the Kyuubi, the Fox contract, and the Dragon contract. What? Are you crazy? Jiraiya said, as he lifted Naruto's shirt. I'm fine, said Naruto. Why would you trust the Kyuubi? It is a malice of hate, said Jiraiya. What if it had tricked you and did something bad to you? I'm fine, said Naruto. Besides, he left some of his chakra behind, so I'll be fine. As Tsunade went over beside Naruto as well. He seemed perfectly healthy, she said. I told you guys I'm fine. And actually, the Kyuubi isn't a being of malice and hate. That is actually why I dislike Hoshirama, Mito, and Kushina, Naruto said. He then goes on to explain the reason why the Kyuubi attacked Hoshirama with Madara controlling it. Even though Mito knew about the Genjutsu, she still decided to steal the fox away. And then Hoshirama went around the world hunting the other tail beasts, pulling them from their slumber and sealing all of them away, using the tail beasts like weapons. That wasn't something Naruto liked at all. That was what created Jinchurikis after all. So you see, all of these wars about who are the strongest village because of the power they has, because of the tail beasts, it's all beginning with Hoshirama and Mito from what they did, said Naruto. Now, my goal is opposite to the Akatsuki. I want to free all of the tail beasts and put a seal on them, so they can never be sealed ever again, said Naruto. That's quite a goal there, kid, said Tsunade. Though, I can understand where you're coming from. After hearing what you just told me about your life as a Jinchuriki, I can see why you wouldn't want anyone else to become one. Yeah, said Naruto. I don't wish that on anyone else. It's hard, you know? Tsunade felt tears come to her eyes again. For him to go through so much and yet have this upbeat attitude. So why don't you tell us, what did Orochimaru want? Yeah, said Jiraiya. What exactly do you want from you? He promised to bring back Dan and Nawaki if I healed his arms. But I can tell that him and his lackey are just trying to use me. Probably try to capture me if I don't. Or if I do. Is lackey? Wait. Is the guy with silver hair and glasses Naruto asked. Tsunade nodded. Huh. It's Kabuto, said Naruto. I fought him during the Chunin exams. We used him to figure out Orochimaru plans for the finals. I guess I have to finish what I started. But he's still really stupid for coming here, said Naruto. After all, your wonderful legendary Sanins and Orochimaru arms are completely wrecked if you wanted to heal them. And I know that Kabuto stand no chance against you. So what can they possibly do against you, said Naruto? You alone can probably take them on yourself. Shizune was the one to speak. Lady Tsunade has a fear of blood, since she witnessed Dan and Nawaki died in front of her. So, knowing that secret for them, they would use it as their advantage. Still, Minato told her to get up her training, so she did. So no one can get the drop on her, says Shizune. How long until Orochimaru comes, asked Jiraiya. We have 2 days, said Tsunade. That isn't enough time to get you over your fear of blood, said Jiraiya. Actually, well, we do have a longer wait, said Naruto. No way in hell, said Jiraiya. What is he talking about, asked Shizune. He wants to place her under a genjutsu. From his Mangita sharingan, it only lasts 3 seconds in the real world, but 3 days in the genjutsu. But the backlash is every time you use it, his eyesight get diminished. Come on, perfect stage, I haven't used my Mangekyo a lot, so my eyesight is still perfect. As you can see, my eyes are clear and bright as the day I was born. Plus, we have the world's greatest medic and her assistant, and also, the Kyuubi still leave his healing factor behind for me so we can do it. As Jiraiya and Tsunade thought about it for at least 5 minutes, before they agreed to it, would be best for she to get over her hemophobia after all, as they agreed to begin. Naruto placed Tsunade under the Tsukiyomi. Orochimaru was about to kill Naruto, but Tsunade had a lash of blood in front of her. The only way to make it towards Naruto was to go through the blood. On the first day, she hesitated as she tried her best, but she froze up, as Naruto kept on using his Tsukiyomi. Shizune was well advanced when it comes to internal injuries and also brain work, so she was able to get the genjutsu effects off of Tsunade rather quickly. As Naruto did it again, and Tsunade this time walked through the thick blood as she made her way towards Naruto, knocking Orochimaru away, saving Naruto's life. She did it. She actually did it. Time skip. 2 days later, Tsunade was at the meeting. So Tsunade, have you decided to help me and get your precious people back? If I heal you, can you really bring them back? She asked. He nodded as Tsunade stepped forward as her hands started to glow green. Suddenly, Kabuto threw a kunai, making her jump back. Kabuto, what are you doing? Said Orochimaru. That jutsu, it wasn't going to heal your arms. It was going to kill you, Kabuto said. Orochimaru chuckled slightly in a bit of rage. Tsunade, I thought you wanted to see your lover and your brother back again. Tsunade said nothing as she smashed her fist into the ground, forcing the both of them to leap away. As Tsunade jumped over there, Kabuto quickly went through hand signs. I'll hand her, my lord, he said, as he activated his chakra scalpels. He was too overconfident as he ran towards Tsunade, trying to hit her, but she dodged everyone's attacks. He then saw opening as he struck her right in the shoulder, but she looked dead in his eyes. She had left this open on purpose. She smashed her fist into his jaw. A loud cracking sound could be heard as she broke it. His body was sent sailing away before it crashed into a large boulder. As Kabuto healed his jaw, Orochimaru looked over at Tsunade. She should be sloppy right now. Kabuto was fast. He was at least Jonin level. He knew that Tsunade was a Sani, but she hasn't been training. But little did he know that Tsunade has been keeping up with her training and also learning some new jutsus. But he had no idea. Kabuto got back up after healing himself as he made his way once again. This time, Tsunade moved with brilliant speed as she hit him right in the back of the neck. But he didn't pass out, he just fell to the ground. And he was unable to move his body. I scramble your nerves if you're wondering why you can't move your body properly. As she drive her heel right into his stomach, knocking the air out of him. She then twisted her feet and smashed it into the side of his face that sent him sailing. As Kabuto started to cough up a lot of blood. He stood there, trying his best to heal himself. As he got back to his feet, he decided to use the blood. As he cut his arm, he flashed his blood towards Tsunade. She started to shake. He smiled. You're a disgrace to all medics. Lord Orochimaru, we can take her now. As Orochimaru was off right in the distance watching the both of them. Kabuto then turned to receive a nasty uppercut that sent him sailing. But suddenly something flashed in front of Kabuto in mid-air as a feet planted in his nose, shattering it. His body was sent hurtling through the sky and smashed into the ground hard. It was then that Jiraiya flashed beside Tsunade. Shizune appeared as Naruto landed after kicking Kabuto away. Orochimaru chuckled despite being in a tough situation. The three Sanis back together again. It almost warmed my cold heart, he said. And you also brought Naruto along with you. A shame I can't have his body for myself, as he licked his lips. What the hell, said Naruto. Dude, I'm only 13, you know that, right? And by the way, I'm not into guys if you're wondering. As Naruto stepped back, I think I need an adult, he said. Orochimaru gritted his teeth in frustration, this kid trying to mock him. And by the way, isn't that the reason you have 4 eyes over there? As Tsunade, Jiraiya and Shizune could barely keep in their laughter. Kabuto got back to his feet, his body, feeling the backlash of healing himself so quickly so much time. Kabuto, leave Tsunade and Jiraiya to me. Take Naruto and Shizune. Naruto then turned towards Shizune. Do you mind if I handle him myself? I mean, we have some unfinished business. Sure. Just be careful, she said. Don't worry, I will, said Naruto. Tsunade and Jiraiya noticed the ground shift under Naruto. After all, said Naruto behind Kabuto, he's my prey. As the after image in front of Shizune simply vanished. Naruto smashed his foot in the back of Kabuto's head that sent him sailing away before chasing after him. Kabuto was shocked as hell when Naruto started to punch and kick him. He thought that he was blocking, but Naruto kicks and punches just got through his guard. But what he didn't know was Naruto had his sharingan activated. Kabuto was seeing everything in the opposite direction. If he saw Naruto fist coming left, Naruto fist was actually coming right. Jiraiya, how strong is he really? Asked Tsunade. She was surprised that he was beaten Kabuto so easily. Well, from what I can tell, the kid is at low Sannin level right now. Maybe even mid Sannin level. I'm afraid your apprentice is as good as dead, Orochimaru. Orochimaru saw Naruto grab Kabuto by the neck who was struggling. Naruto smashed his head in Kabuto's nose, breaking it once again, before driving his fist right into Kabuto's forehead, knocking him down to the ground. As he then spun and smashed the top of his foot on Kabuto's head before kicking his body away. Orochimaru dashed forward as he was caught off guard by how strong Naruto actually was. He couldn't afford to lose Kabuto, not now. But Naruto turned towards him quickly and used a sharingan, paralyzing genjutsu. As Orochimaru found himself with rods, giant rod pillars sticking out of him. Damn it, he cursed. It's just like what Itachi did to me. As Kabuto got to his feet, bleeding badly. As he swiped after Naruto who jumped away. The moment Naruto jumped away, Tsunade descended from the sky with a heel drop. Boom! She destroyed the area. As Jiraiya jumped in the fray, Orochimaru's body was being sent sailing everywhere. He stood no chance against the two of them, knocking the shit out of him. Kabuto! Now, he shouted. As Kabuto used a summoning tattoo on Orochimaru's arm and went through hand sign. Jiraiya and Tsunade saw this as well as they went through hand sign. All three of them summoning jutsu. Poof, poof, poof. The three legendary Sanins summonings appear. Katsuya. It's good to see you again, said Gamabunta. Likewise, Gamabunta. It has been far too long, she said. Well, if it isn't the weaker summons, Gamabunta and Katsuya, said Manda. Orochimaru, you know that I will be needed 100 sacrifice after this fight is over. As Kabuto also summoned a battle snake for himself. He looked towards Naruto as the snake launched. Huh. Let's see your snake go up against my fox. As he bit his finger, went through hand sign. Summoning jutsu, he said. There was a massive poof as the three Saiyans turned their head when they saw 8 tails flashing all about. As an 8-tailed fox appeared, a bit smaller than Kurama. It was a girl fox. Ah, you must be Naruto, she said. Kurama and Scarlet has told me about you. I am Narumi, Kurama's mate. How can I help you today, kid, she said. It's nice to meet you. Kurama did tell me to summon you. We should catch up later, said Naruto. But I need your help with that battle snake right there. And when you're done with that, you can take on that other snake. But leave the toad alone because he's on our side, okay? Oh, I can do that for you, said Narumi. Just hop off my head, okay? Because I tend to get a bit wild. Naruto nodded as he jumped off her head. She tear off the ground, rushing toward the snake. Kabuto had to jump away because he saw the furious fox coming at him. But the moment he jumped off the snake, Naruto met him in mid-air. As Naruto shoved her sharingan right into Kabuto's stomach. But Kabuto got up. Oh, I see. You focus all your chakra in the center of your stomach to cancel the effect of your sharingan. Nice job. However, that's a stupid move. You're drained right now. You could have waited until the sharingan hit you and then do it after that. Now, said Naruto, as he uses water manipulation, Kabuto was grabbed as water whips wrapped around him. Let's say you survive this. As Naruto held out his hand, as the Rasengan started to grow and grow and grow and grow. Kabuto was shaking as he ripped through one of the water tentacles. But Naruto created a water bubble on his head as all of his oxygen was cut off. As Naruto shoved off the ground, giant Rasengan, he said, as he shoved it right into Kabuto. Kabuto back exploded out as a Rasengan ripped right through him. It then imploded on itself, sending Kabuto sailing away before he smashed through several boulders before collapsing down. As Naruto rushed over there to check him, he was dead. Orochimaru was shocked. Kabuto was defeated so easily. He sent away Mana. Naruto, I will be killing you next time we fight, he said. I can't wait, Naruto said, as Orochimaru sank down into the ground before any of the others could touch him. As Jiraiya landed beside Naruto after dispelling their summons. So, do you feel better, knowing that one person involved in Sensei death is gone, asked Jiraiya. Yeah, I am, but there's still more out there, said Naruto. Yeah, I know. Orochimaru and the Zone 4 that held the barrier. No, not all of the Zone 4. What do you mean? I thought you want all of them dead, asked Jiraiya. No, you see, there was a red-haired girl there. I saw her look in her eyes when our eyes met. It seems like she didn't want there, like she was being held against her will by Orochimaru. She also looked sorry. I just saw that look in her eyes, said Naruto. You think she's a Uzumaki, asked Jiraiya. I don't know, said Naruto. Well, it doesn't matter. When you get back to Konoha, you can bring all the Uzumaki that you found back to Konoha. I give you permission to do that. So, does that mean you're accepting, said Naruto? She placed a hand in his head and ruffled his hair. Yeah, she said that smile. So, are you gonna answer my question, said Naruto? Huh? I just did. No. Why are you wearing a henge? Naruto asked. Oh, it's because under it she looked old and wrinkly, said Jiraiya. As Tsunade punched him right in the face. But how could she look old and wrinkly, said Naruto? She has Uzumaki genes, and she should have stopped aging at least 30. Hell, I bet if you try you could at least have another baby. All of them looked at her, including Jiraiya, who magically got off the ground rather quickly. As Tsunade released the henge, she put it on once she found her gray hair. When the smoke cleared, she looked the same, but except for a couple of bags under her eyes from lack of sleep. And that one gray hair she had was no longer there, as she did a scan over her body to test something, and she could have kids if she wanted. I don't believe it, you're still as beautiful, if not more, than you were with the henge, said Jiraiya. A small tint of red came on her cheeks. Thank you, she said. So, you two getting back together? Hell no, she said, I don't want to be with that pervert. As Naruto looked at Jiraiya, she's lying, he whispered. Tsunade yeep as Jiraiya scooped her up in his arms, wasting no time. Don't come back to the room until about 10 PM. She slapped him, but he took off with her. What can she say? It's been a while since she had some. It's 2 now, said Naruto. So what are we gonna do for the next 8 hours, he asked, looking at Shizune. What do you mean? Do you think she's gonna actually go through with it? Well, she didn't punch him to let her go. She did slap him, but that didn't seem to Alright, said Naruto. So, yeah. Well, let's go and have some fun, said Shizune. At the carnival and play some of the games. Time skip. When they got back, Tsunade looked like she was glowing. As Naruto yawned finally, it's been a long day. And I'm tired and we have a 3-day trip back. As everyone looked at him, what? Said Jiraiya, we still have 3 weeks left. Yeah, I know that. But I don't trust Danzo. Not to do something while we're gone. So can we leave in a week, is that fair? As they stay for the rest of the week. As they all got to bond, Naruto getting to know Shizune and she got to know him. The both of them took on a brother-sisterly role. As Naruto told that he had someone they set her up with once they get back to Konoha. Well, if he was a nice guy and someone that she would like. Yeah. And Jiraiya and Tsunade went out on a couple of dates. The truth was, when they did it back then, the both of them were actually they're each other first. As Tsunade never got the chance to do it with Dan. She had loved Dan and was waiting for the right time. But when he died, it just broke her. It was a time of pain and grief. But she took that out and she and Jiraiya did it. It was actually his first time as well. He never did anything before that. That is why he loved her so much. I know those feelings from the back then that she felt and she couldn't face him when she ran away were coming back. So the week was finally up. Summoning Jutsu. A giant dragon with silver skin that looked like armor with gems along his neck appeared. Greetings, Naruto-sama. I am called Naji, the fastest dragons outside the boss and elder. I am mainly used for transport. How can I be at your service? Naji said. Can you take us an hour outside of Konoha, Naruto asked. The dragon nodded and lowered his head. Naruto, why an hour? Because he's like 200 feet long, and I don't want the village to know about my contract with the dragon. I don't think the villagers will be too pleased with him just landing in the middle of the village. As Jiraiya nodded hearing that, as they landed an hour away as Naruto thanked Naji, who poofed away. As they made their way, as Izumo was fast asleep, he heard something walking by. Hello there, he said, quickly snapped up his head. I will need your passes, he said, quickly wiping the sleep out of his eyes. He has been on guard duty for a while now since the invasion, so he was a bit exhausted As he didn't blink. Oh, sorry, Lord Jiraiya. Lady Tsunade, I didn't recognize you. Please go ahead. As he looked over at Shizune, as a small blush came on his face. As Tsunade and Jiraiya stepped forward. Oh, Shizune, this is my friend, Izumo, one of the Eternal Gate guards. And he's the guy I was talking about. Huh? What's going on to Izumo? Have fun, said Naruto as he walked off, leaving the both of them. Shizune looked at him a bit nervous. What did he actually say to you? Asked Izumo. Well, as Naruto turned to see the both of them talking. They both have a similar attitude. And plus the both of them are super nice. It will be good. As Naruto came in beside Tsunade and Jiraiya, as no one was glaring at him, as they made their way to the council room. Alright, as promised, I brought Tsunade Senju back for the title of Hokage, Jiraiya said. He has to leave, one of the council members said, pointing at Naruto. Actually, no. He was on the mission, Jiraiya said. Can we get this over with, said Tsunade. My feet are hurting for traveling 3 weeks straight. I am sure all of you agree for Lady Tsunade to become the next Hokage, said Homura. So can you kindly raise your hand? Everyone raised their hand except for Danzo, but he rose his hand after a second. But he spoke. I don't think that she should become the next Hokage. She hasn't been seen for years in the village, and she could be working with the enemy for all that we know. Plus rumors has it that she has a huge gambling debt. We can't have someone that has debt collectors after her as the Hokage. I think we should choose someone else. Too bad no one cares about what you think, you one-eyed pedophile. The vote has already gone through. Your one opinion means shit. The only one that can change it is a fire daimyo, and we both know that he valid the Senju name after all. Danzo gritted his teeth in frustration. Everyone already agreed as he glared at Naruto, who glared back at him. As her first job, Tsunade went to the hospital to heal Kakashi and Sasuke. And Lee, seeing that he pushed himself so far using the 5th gate. After that, Tsunade was greeted with a buttload of paperwork for all the reconstructions, and not to mention the exam days for Chunin exams, and to see if there were any candidates for promotion. As Jiraiya was left in the office with her. Alright Tsunade, I'm off to check on my contacts. I'll be back in a month to check on everything. Also, in 6 months, I want to take Naruto on a training trip for 2.5 years. What will you be teaching him during the next 2.5 years? Everything. From ninjutsu, taijutsu to genjutsu. Hell, even my spine didn't work. Just in case anything happened to me. Or if I decide to retire. Alright, she said, but can you stay for a little while longer? I'm not going to see you for an entire month. He nodded and sat back on the couch where she joined him. As they sit down and talk for another 2 hours. Before he left, he gave her a kiss as he went off. A week later, all of the Jonins, minus Lee and the Jennings, were in the Okage's office. Now all of you are here for the results of the Chunin exams and who was recommended for promotion, as well as any field promotion during the actions during the war. Now, seeing that Naruto's the only one who fought in the finals, I don't really had anything to go on, so I had to rely on the exhibition rounds and the invasion report. First of all, Shikamaru, Nara, the Jonin and Chunin were impressed by your thinking and your tactical planning during the invasion. Also, they talk about how you show great leadership like your father did at your age, but better. So, I hereby grant you the rank of Chunin, as she gave my Chunin vest. But instead of being happy, Shikamaru sighed a bit. That was just more work to do. Next up for promotion, Shino Aberami. Just like Shikamaru, the Jonins and Chunin were impressed by your leadership skills and remained calm under certain situations, as well as your abilities in helping Shikamaru strategize. As he got his vest as well, showing no emotions while you couldn't see most of his face. Next is not a promotion, however, Tenten. The Envoy captain and commander were both impressed by your use of weapons during the Chunin exams and the invasion, mainly your versatility in using them. However, they want you to add some ninjutsu to your arsenal and become a Chunin, and there will be an Envoy invitation waiting for you. Tenten was shocked, all she could do was nod. Choji Akamichi, you are recommended for a field promotion to Chunin. However, the Jonins and Chunins feel like it would be best for you to try the Chunin exams when they come up again. But they have pretty high rates on you, so if you do good in your upcoming missions, I will promote you. Ino and Sakura, the Jonin and Chunins were disappointed in both of your performance. More so Sakura than Ino, at least you tried to fight off 4 Son Shinobis even though you knew you couldn't win. But they chalked it up to your low chakra reserves for you giving up so quickly. But they highly recommend you get serious and take the Chunin exams again. As Ino nodded, Tsunade looked towards Sakura. I don't even know how you became a shinobi. Your skills are horrible. You haven't improved from the reports. And it seems like you never tried to improve at all. During the invasion, you refused to fight. And you were quoting saying that it's not your job to fight because you're a girl. Newsflash. I fought in a war, I'm a girl as well. Once you put on the headband, you're sworn to fight for the leaf. I don't know what happened to you, but you have 3 months to improve or you are going to be kicked from the Shinobi program. Tsunade didn't even wait for a response, she just quickly moved on. Hinata Hyuga, the Jonin watching you, were impressed by your Byakugan tracking skills. They say that you can see further than most Jonin in your clan. They say you provide medical treatment with some ointment that you made yourself. I would like to look at something like that, okay? They would have recommended you for Chunin, but however they say that your taijutsu style is still incomplete. So when you're finished, they recommend another test for you before you're promoted. Hinata nodded at that. Neji Hyuga, you are not recommended for a promotion. You have the skills and brain, however you don't have the right attitude. Get your attitude fixed and retake Chunin exams. However, they don't think that you will stay long as a Chunin because you're farther advanced already, she said. As Neji, bow. And you, said Tsunade. As she looked at Kiba, you were not recommended for anything. You were said to be arguing with some of the others in the bunker and trying to hit on some of the civilian girls and even trying to force your way on some of them. If you weren't stopped, I had a punishment for you, but your mother and sister say that they would handle that when you get home. Kiba paled hearing that. Sasuke Uchiha, she said. Sasuke stepped forward as he puffed out his chest, ready to get his praise. I suggest you deflate your chest and lower your head. The reports on you are even worse. Abandoning your post during the invasion, which resulted in more than 1 civilian getting injured. Also, you left the village without permission to fight your brother when you heard that he was out looking for Naruto. Oh, and that reminds me, Kakashi, what the hell do you think you were doing teaching an unstable boy like him the Shidori? Well, he reminded me so much of myself at his age. I figured he was meant to learn it. I wouldn't have taught him it if I didn't think that he could handle this to Kakashi. For once, not reading his book. So you teach an unstable genin, who is well known as to be unstable, an assassination technique, as well as a horrible one at that. I'm sorry, late Tsunade, but the Shidori is a perfect assassination technique, so I'll have to disagree with you on that one, said Kakashi. Really? Naruto, can you create your jutsu for me? Naruto nodded as he created his lightning edge. Unlike the Shidori, his was red and made no sound. That Kakashi is the perfect assassination technique. It makes no noise. You can't hear it. And it also doesn't need a running start to be effective. And you, she said looking at Sasuke after Naruto dispelled his jutsu, you are suspended for a year after what you did. Abandon your post like that. If it wasn't for the others, most of the civilians would have been killed. Sasuke was about to say something, but Naruto slapped a silent seal on him. Now, Naruto Uchiha, you are recommended for the Chunin exam promotion as well. So was Lee doing the exhibition rounds. But he's still in the hospital, so he will have to wait until he recovers. Now, during the war, you're also responsible for taking out a large portion of some shinobis, even using clones to protect some of the kids who are at the academy. And not to mention using their fox summons to take out the snakes that were destroying the village. And you were also said to take on a squad of blank mass envoy who had the intention to capture or kill you. You've done a lot during the war, even the Fire Daimyo has taken a good look at you. Everyone was shocked as Asuma knew what the Fire Daimyo could do if he had an interest in you. And your recommendation is higher than everyone else, not for Chunin but for Jonin. So I hereby give you the rank of Special Jonin, she said. Congratulations. As she tossed him a Jonin vest. Naruto hugged Tsunade, shocking everyone. Thank you, Granny Tsunade, he said. Tsunade being embarrassed by everyone looking at them did one thing that could save her from her embarrassment. She punched him right to the roof. When he came crashing back down, he came fine. No cuts, no bruise or anything. Must be a genetic thing, she thought. Now that everything is over, everyone may leave except for Naruto and Anko. Everyone nodded as they headed off, with a furious Sasuke leaving as well. Now, Naruto, you have 2 scrolls here, but one of them doesn't say from who. She hands him the scroll as Naruto read it. He was shocked to what he saw. No way. What is it, Naruto-chan? Asked Anko. I have been invited to join the Guardian 12 by the Fire Daimyo himself. Tsunade was shocked. She was shocked by that because she just got her grandson in her life and now the Fire Daimyo want to take him away. Uncle wasn't really shocked because he heard that the Daimyo came to the Chunin exam just to see Naruto fight. He then opened the last scroll and it was a marriage contract. Oh hell no, Naruto said, as he took a pen and paper from her decks as he writes something. He then summoned the carrier hawk to deliver the message. What was that, said Tsunade. It was a stupid marriage proposal contract. I gave him my response though, he said. What was your response? Oh, I told him not a chance in hell. Okay, I have a question. Why didn't you punch him when he called you granny this time? Asked Uncle. Well, he's my grandson, she said. What? Really? Uncle said as she was surprised. As she looked at both Naruto and Tsunade. You know, you two do look a bit similar in a way. So who's the grandfather? Let me guess, it's Jiraiya, she said. She started to laugh. But they didn't laugh with her. Wait, you're serious? Really? Contrary to what you believe, Uncle, he wasn't like that. Always. A bit of that was because of me, just leaving on him just so quickly. Wow, really, said Uncle. So, are you two back together? Well, we never really talk about it, said Tsunade. It seems like it's something neither of us want to bring up back. Okay, enough of that, said Naruto. Daimyo want me to come in and stay for 2.5 years. He want me to begin in 6 months. Oh, Naruto, said Tsunade. Jiraiya was planning on taking you on a training trip for that exact same time. Well, maybe I can go and do the Guardian 12. And the Daimyo would allow Jiraiya to grab me every 3 months to train. Do you think he would accept this? Alright, I'll let her to him right now, said Tsunade. Time skip. It's been 3 weeks now since Tsunade became Hokage and things were looking up. She took some power away from the Civilian Council since she learned that they were forging her signature to pass some laws. So she made sure everything they wanted went through her. Tsunade also saw what Naruto was doing to the stray animals, as she allowed an animal shelter to be created in the middle of Konoha, as Naruto gave them seals so the animals could have their treatment. As Shizune and Izumo started a date, and they were hanging out as Naruto went by there with Ayam, as Ayam met Katetsu, and for some funny reason, the both of them end up sparring, and she actually beat him. As people started to laugh, well, she was a civilian after all. Or probably just because he didn't want to fight her. Well, Naruto made joke of him. He needs to start training again. And Naruto got a visit from the noble and his daughter after he received his response. But they still got a flat no. and Naruto went on a couple more missions taking out some bandits. So right now Naruto's at training ground as he up his resistance seal again as he did 200 laps. He decided to work on his Susanoo since he hasn't used it since the last time he found out he could summon the ribcage and the arm. This time he poured more chakra into it as the two arms appear. Also, a head did as well, as it had two horns with golden eyes. He decided to push it even further as muscle and skin form on the bones, as spikes appear on top of his shoulder. As he looked at the monstrous form of his Susanoo, he released it though. As he went down, started to practice on something else. After that was over, Naruto went home. Huh? Nai-chan, what are you doing here? Naruto says he saw Kurenai. Lady Tsunade is giving us one last mission together as Team 8, but it's a joint mission with Team 7 unfortunately. We have to meet up with a client tomorrow morning in the Hokage's office at 9. Now the reason Team 7 is on this mission is because after Tsunade filed the paper of Sasuke's punishment, somebody got a hold of it and replaced it to 1 week suspension and stamped it and signed it using the official Kage stamp that Tsunade uses. It would be too much of a hassle to redo this since she would have to get the Fire Daimyo involved, and she didn't want the headache. As Sasuke was now back in the field of duty, Sakura didn't want to get kicked off a team with Sasuke. She still wanted to be with the precious Sasuke, so she tried to up her chakra control. Kiba hasn't been seen since the promotion. Rumor has it that his mother and sister gave him a beating, well, a severe beating, and that he had to sleep in the kennels with the dogs for what he did. The next morning, as Team 7 and Team 8 was in office, alright Team 7 and Team 8, you will be escorting Shibuki here back to the waterfall village. He's the village leader, so behave yourself, she said, mainly to Team 7. Kurenai, you're first in charge with Kakashi being your second in command, if anything should happen to you. And after that, it will be Naruto. Kurenai spoke, Shibuki-sama, do you have a time period to reach the waterfall village? As Shibuki wore grey pants, a green shirt, and he had on a Taki headband in his forehead. Taki is about a week travel away from Konoha, so I would like to leave as soon as possible, he said. Okay, pack your things for a 2-week trip, we leave in an hour. Naruto already had his things, so he stayed in the office with Tsunade. So, Granny Tsunade, are you and Pervy Sage officially together, said Naruto. You know I came by yesterday, and you two were being a bit loud, said Naruto. As Tsunade looked at him, her cheeks blushed in embarrassment. Well, they were just kissing, she thought. So, is it official? Naruto asked. Honestly, we are just going with the flow, she said. I mean, it isn't anything really serious yet. I mean, he hasn't asked me to marry him because back then, he had proposed at least 3 times before. Well, I think if he proposed, you should accept it. After all, he does make you happy. And without happiness, what is the meaning of life, he said. Tsunade blinked. You know, for a brat, you sound quite wiser than your age. And by the way, I'm older than you. I should be the one giving you advice. I guess I'm just that wise, he said. Anyway, I want you to look out for Kakashi on this mission. He doesn't look too happy when I put Kurenai in charge, said Tsunade. Yeah, I felt a bit of spike of emotion as well. As Tsunade nodded. Okay, 2 things. I want you to get Shibuki alone and tell him about the Akatsuki and what they're after. I heard rumors that Taki has completely isolated their Jinchuriki from the village, but I don't know what their Jinchuriki look like. Secondly, I talked to the Fire Daimyo. He said that Jerry can train you for a year and a half, but he wants you in the Guardian 12 for the next year and a half. I told Jerry already and he agreed to this. After a year is up, Jerry will meet up with you and bring you back to the village. Okay, do I still leave in 6 months? Or has the timetable changed into acts? No, you still leave in 6 months. So after this mission, I'll be sending you as many missions as I can before you leave. And when you do leave, I'll be releasing your heritage to the village. After all, I know that you'll be coming back as strong, or even stronger than your father. Okay, that's fine with me, said Naruto. He then looked at the clock. Alright, I'll see you when I get back, Granny, he said. As they arrived at the gate, Kakashi was not there. They waited for at least 10 minutes. Naruto said screw it, and so did Kurenai as they headed off. After 5 hours in their travel, Kakashi caught up with them. They had to stop because of Sakura, horrible stamina. Kurenai, you know you're supposed to wait for me. Why did you leave? I can report you for this, said Kakashi. I don't tolerate tardiness. Everyone may think that your lateness is cute and funny, but not me. Now get your head out of your ass and let's go. With that, Team 8 and Shibuki leapt in the trees. After all, he wasn't a civilian, so he could keep up with them. As they were traveling, Naruto noticed that Shibuki was rather a scared person. Every little noise, the man would jump off. Naruto really wondered how a man like him became a village leader. I would like to invite you in the village. However, those 4 will have to wear something over their eyes. said Shibuki. "That's okay with us," Kakashi said immediately, causing everyone to get suspicious. The reason why they had to be blindfolded was because the entrance of Waterfall Country has always been kept a secret, as they all made their way. But Kakashi didn't create that clone. Naruto could feel the chakra spike as he created a clone of his own to destroy Kakashi's clone. "Naruto, that wasn't very nice," Kakashi said angrily. "Why the hell would you do something like that? There must be a reason why they want to keep their entrance a secret. And yet, you nearly jeopardized the relationship between Taki and Konoha." "What's going on, Naruto? What did he do?" asked Kunai. "He tried to create a clone to get the entrance of the village," said Naruto. "But I could sense it," said Naruto, "so I destroyed it." Before Kunai could say anything, a messenger hawk landed right on Kakashi. "What is it?" asked Kunai. "It seems I am needed back at the village for something. Team 7, you are to stay here with Kunai and finish the mission." Before they could say anything, he body flickered away. "Was he telling the truth?" asked Kunai. She looked at Naruto. "Yes, but he also seemed like he was uncertain about something." "But we can't worry about that for now," said Naruto, as they made their way. As they entered, two kids rushed up to Shibuki. Shibuki noticed the looks on their faces. "What's wrong?" As a woman then came jumping out of the tree. As she landed, "Mother," one of the little girls said. She rushed up to her mother as a kunai was in her back. "Shibuki-sama, it's horrible," the lady said. "What's going on?" asked Shibuki, as they heard clashes around the village. But guys, the insects are right here. If you want the next part of this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But I'm over now. See you guys soon. Peace.